Hello and welcome everyone. Congratulations for taking this first step to invest in your future, your retirement plan, your financial freedom. Hi, this is Caroline Velez, and as you can see, today's seminar is about 5 steps to leverage real estate to exit the rat race. I know you've probably been to several webinars that they talk a lot of stories before they get into the core content. I'm thinking since there's a lot to cover, let's just dive right into it, because I like to get to the point. It must also be the engineer part of me that just likes to, just be concise. So let's just dive right into it. Who this is for. This is for the hardworking smart people serious about getting out of the rat race and trading time for money. You know what I mean. Working to 40, 50 hours a week, sometimes even 60 hours. This is for business owners and professionals who want to invest their money in real estate to build wealth. Especially the variable income folks such as real estate professionals, sales managers, business owners. You're building wealth and you have good months and not so good months, and the good months you want to know where to stash your money away and put it in a safe place and hope that it builds you some equity and wealth. This is for anyone who wants to leverage their capital, time, and energy to increase their net worth, equity, and wealth by leveraging real estate. So this is pretty much for anyone, whether you like your current job or you want to just build some extra income wealth. Pay attention for the next 45 minutes because this is going to be the best 45 minutes you invested in your personal financial wealth and retirement planning. In the next 45 minutes, you will learn the real reason why conventional retirement planning leaves people broken and destitute. You will learn how to put your money to work and build income so you can take your foot off the gas pedal one day and stop trading hours for dollars. You will learn how to protect your lifestyle regardless of what is happening economically. You will learn how to make the shift from consumer to becoming the owner without changing careers, taking on another job, or getting a business degree. You will learn how to retire comfortably without being broke at old age. You will learn how to leverage and rocket fuel your business without taking on another full-time job or losing sleep. My big promise to you is the exact step-by-step strategy to gain financial freedom, build wealth, and lasting equity. Sound great to you? You really got to believe this can happen because it can. It has already. It's been done. You know people who have achieved this, and now it's your turn too. Does this sound like you? Do you feel stuck and burned out in the daily grind yet cannot quit because you rely on that paycheck? Does the thought of working day in and day out till old age give you chills? Do you feel like you are playing credit card roulette and struggling to pull ahead? You know what I mean. You use every paycheck to pay for your living expenses, pay off your credit cards, and you barely have enough for your savings. And the next month when you get your paycheck, it's the same routine again. Over time, you realize your savings account really isn't growing much. It just plateaus. There really isn't much you can do. Does this sound like you? Do you wish you had extra income so you can help those that you love and those who are in need? Do you worry about not having enough income to get through troubled times should something go wrong with the economy? For those who have witnessed and experienced the 2008 recession and know someone who has lost their job or got impacted because of recession, you know exactly what I was talking about. I went through it, and I know that my friends and family who went through it, it was a very difficult and depressing time. And before 2008, layoffs weren't something common. Like layoffs was something that you just thought like it had to be a really dire and bad situation. But after 2008, like getting laid off seemed like a common term. In fact, my friends in their 20s or 30s would just say like, yeah, I'm getting, I'm gonna get furloughed, in 2 weeks and all that. And it wasn't anything embarrassing, all that. People see what happens when the economy goes bad. Businesses simply just have to cut their overhead and cut salaries, and it's just a numbers game. It has nothing to do with your performance. You could be the best working person out there, but if the company needs to cut costs, they will go for you. Do you feel that there's an invisible ceiling that's telling you how you should live your lifestyle, and it doesn't seem changeable? This is the people who live within a budget, and you make your decisions based on your budget. Whether you want to travel and see family, attend a wedding event, you tell yourself no, even though your heart says yes, you'd like to go if you had that extra income, but you tell yourself no because you need to stay within your budget. Does this sound like you? Do you feel frustrated it takes so much time to be able to have retirement freedom? I know that you've probably talked to your coworkers, or your parents probably spent 30 years in their career before they retired, but that was a different time. That was a different time when companies took care of them, when loyalty mattered. Now with recessions and a lot of contractors and turnovers, we all know that it's not likely to stay at the same company for over 20 years. Probably 10 years is even really good. Does it sound like you? Do you tell friends and yourself that money does not matter? Yet secretly you know that money can solve many headaches and problems and can turn your dreams into reality. Let's face it, the family issues that keep getting brought up, a senior grandparent needing some money for senior care, or even just parents needing help with babysitter costs. Having that extra income can solve those headaches, those frustrations, those arguments over money, and it can be resolved. Do you secretly worry if you don't do something about it now, you will end up as a sad statistic and end up living retirement below your current lifestyle and forced to live like a student? Or worse yet, be a Walmart greeter. I don't know about you, but every time I see Walmart greeters, I feel bad because they're seniors, and I know that they're doing it as a part-time job because they need that extra income, not that they really enjoy standing there all day. If those sound like you, well, I've got some good news for you, because those are just symptoms. None of these are the real problem. The real problem is you haven't made the shifts. Once you've made the shifts, you can have complete control over your life and finances, have the freedom to choose how you want to spend your time, and not have to trust your future with a financial advisor. Once you've made the shifts, you can have a sufficient personal wealth and live without having to work actively towards an income. Once you've made the shifts, you choose when you want to travel and not have to wait for vacation approval. Once you've made the shifts, you can turn your own mental dream screenplay into an action movie. Create a plot full of adventure, excitement, fulfilling life experience. Be bold and live out the big dreams that you've always had in your head or on your dream list bucket. There are no longer limitations and obstacles in your way. I truly believe that life is a collection of your experiences. You can choose what projects and work you want to work on and make your heart sing versus feeling forced to work for a paycheck. Once you've made the shifts, you can financially help those you love and care about. You can live your life large rather than trying to be small and limit your life and dreams to fit a budget. Before we get to the shifts, I'd like to take 2 seconds to introduce myself and let you know why you should listen to me. Who am I? I'm a startup engineer, background in chemical engineering. I was blessed with many opportunities to lead startup teams, engineers, construction workers, and electrical team for capital projects 10 million and greater globally. I've been to Brazil, Vietnam, Japan, and led these teams to cross the finish line. I love taking things across the finish line. I teach them how to build a plant, test a plant, run the plant, and how to run the maintenance. I'm known to be a problem solver and a good systems builder. I studied Japanese Kaizen Toyota Lean. You've heard of Toyota Lean Way? Well, it all started in Japan, and I was at that very factory. I specialize in saving time, energy, and building efficiency because I know time is important. Later, I transitioned from engineering to business. I worked as an asset portfolio analyst, and I boosted profits, $4.6 million in a quarter. And I've always had many million-dollar improvements throughout my career. I currently do real estate investing part-time, and I'm also a commercial real estate associate. I enjoy traveling. Unlike most engineers who are happy doing calculations, I love vacation, travel, and spending a lot of time with family. Now, let's move on to the 5 shifts. Discovering the 5 shifts. There are 5 key shifts that you must take to create more income each month and exit the rat race. I'm going to walk you through all 5 of them. Shift 1. Don't squeeze more, make more. What do I mean by this? You've heard of the book The Millionaire Next Door. In fact, it was a bestseller. It talks about how millionaires, they live in subpar neighborhoods, like B-class neighborhoods. They don't live in the fancy neighborhoods. They drive used cars and drive them for 7 years. They focus on saving, couponing, not going on lavish vacations. They stash away their cash. They live a very disciplined, low-key life. Recently, I just got done attending a retirement party. The guy worked for 37 years. And what was concerning is he said the scariest moment in his life was taking his retirement pension plan to a financial advisor he only knew for a year and asked him if this was enough to live off of. It's scary to live off a pile of cash. One unplanned large expense can throw your entire budget off. While these ideas may not seem obvious at first glance, but it is very real when you live them for a period of years. They explain the strange behavior of a 70-year-old millionaire who restricted to only live off of his Social Security check and argues over 10 cents on bread. Drawing down assets for living expenses is a very emotionally difficult thing to grapple on. You have to live it to understand it. It's the feeling of when you were given like allowance money and budget money, and that was all you could have. You don't have a plan B. You can't go back to work. You're too old by that time. It's an experience you live a impoverished life, and you can't really experience what freedom is. Living off of piles of cash is a limited mindset lifestyle. So is budgeting. It's why you see retirees eating tuna cans and afraid to live big and large. They don't go on big cruises. You might say like, hey, Caroline, well, I make pretty good income, $60,000 a year, $5,000 a month. I max out my 401k. 401ks gives me a good return. Yes, I did the math. And after 30 years, your retirement account balance would probably be within $150,000, $100,000, depending on how much you max out on your 401k. More about that later. And it's shocking because you know you can't live off of that. So you might say, well, I make 6 digits. Okay, so let's double that. Say you made $120,000 a year. So you have $200,000 in your retirement account balance. That's still not enough. So I really want you to make the mental shift, to shift your compass from making piles of cash and start thinking that you need to increase your income rather than increase your savings. I want you to focus on building assets that produce you income versus you trying to produce all the income and cutting and living frugally to save up piles of cash. I want you to invest in income producing assets that let your money and assets work hard for you and make your money work hard for you because you work super hard for your money. Shift 2. Why the mainstream advice gets you chained to a job. Have you heard of Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey? Yes, they preach about cutting credit cards, cutting cable, cut, live frugally to pay off debt. All of this so you can call into the Dave Ramsey show and say, I'm debt free. The promise from mainstream personal gurus is, if you live below your means, someday you will live it better and finally take it easy. However, did you know if you follow this traditional advice, you'll be chained to a job? A lot of Americans follow this, and I was part of that bandwagon too. I followed the whole process. I went to school, I got good grades, I went to college, got a good job, then it was work. I followed Susie Orman and I maxed out my 401k and I did the calculations myself. I still had another 30 years to go. I was like, that is a long time. And recently I listened to Susie Orman. She's encouraging everyone to be safe, to work till they are 75. I mean, 65 is no longer enough to save for. 75 is the new time. Could you imagine retiring at that old age? At that time, can you really do all the things you dreamed about? What the personal finance gurus tell you is if you live below your means, someday you will live it better and finally take it easy. However, something shocking is that Dave Ramsey did not build his riches through living the frugal way and selling books as he teaches. He was a real estate investor doing wholesale flips and currently owns multiple income-producing homes. He never talks about his real estate investing, but that's where he really accumulated his wealth from. Point is, you should aim to be financially free versus debt-free. What's the point of being debt-free when you can't be financially free? Yes, you're debt-free. You called into the Dave Ramsey show. However, you still need to live and have living expenses, and you still need that income. So you're going to work. And then you need to be debt-free, so you got to live small because you don't want to accumulate any credit card debt, and you continue living that same lifestyle. So, in other words, you're just living that same low-key lifestyle even when you're retired. I do agree with Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman, though, that consumer debt is bad. Let's take a look at how today's 65 years olds are getting along. So, 1% people are wealthy. 4% are financially free. 5% pass away already. 36% are working, and 54% are dependent on other people providing them some sort of money or government support. In other words, 99% of the population is failing. Why is that? I imagine you're here because you want to be part of that 1% that is wealthy. So let's think about this. How do you go from consumer mode to boss mode? It's time to think like a boss. To think like someone who owns their money, who owns their wealth, who owns their financial destiny. Let's take a look at this investment opportunity, and you tell me whether it's a good deal or not. The offer is, I want you to imagine that someone comes to you with the following investment opportunity. He wants you to put up with 100% of the risk, and if it makes money, he wants to earn 60% more of the upside. And there are some standard fees. And by the way, if it loses money, well, you lose, and he gets paid anyways. Are you in? I know what you're thinking. This is a no-brainer. Your gut response is, who the hell would do that? There's no way I'm doing this. How absurd. The only problem is that you're like 90% of the American investors. You've invested in some kind of mutual fund, whether it's Charles Schwab, Edward Jones, Fidelity. Believe it or not, these are the terms that you've agreed to. Yes, that's right. $13 trillion is actively managed in mutual funds. Let me show you the math. So say you invested $10,000 at the age of 20. Mutual fund grows, it's an average about, 7%. 7.5% is probably a good year. And over 60 years, it grows to $500,000 more. And you're like, wow, that is a lot of money. That is awesome. I'm so excited about this performance. However, did you know that after you take out the 2.5% management fees, in your pocket, you get $140,000. Are you shocked? Yeah. Sure, I know you know the power of compound interest. Einstein called compound interest the eighth law. It's astounding. However, as your money grows, so does the management fee grows because it's taken as a percentage. Let me tell you about the asset vehicles. When you are a boss and you learn my 10X Wealth System, you will learn about the different asset vehicles. There's paper assets such as mutual funds. You can own your own business, and then there's real estate. We already talked about paper assets and mutual funds. You know that you can't rely on it. Owning a business, it takes passion, dedication, and the skills to run one. The third one is my favorite, real estate, because anyone can start a real estate business. First off, I want to let you know that passive income is not just being on a beach and sipping margaritas. It takes a lot of time and effort to do it right and set it up early on so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor later on. I think modern day pop culture, they seem to think that passive income means that you just do nothing. That's not true, and it won't be true for real estate. There is some work involved. Let's do a quick recap of the shifts that we've covered so far. So I want you to stop squeezing and focus on making more. I want you to stop trying to build piles of cash, instead focus on building streams of income, streams of cash. I want you to do opposite of the mainstream gurus. Don't listen to them. Aim to be financially free. Debt-free does not matter. There is no point of being debt-free if you cannot be financially free. And next, I want you to be the boss. I want you to go from consumer mode to boss mode, to be the owner. And I want you to ride some asset vehicles that can take your money and help you exit the rat race. Shift 4. Why real estate beats Wall Street every single time. Real estate is an ideal investment, literally. I will be telling you more about this later. There's not going to be more land. You know that there's a limited amount of it. God created only a certain amount of land. And you might be wondering, why haven't I heard about real estate from the financial advisors? Well, because financial advisors, they make money off commissions. They make money whenever you enroll into their mutual funds. So they're not going to make any money if they tell you not to join them They're not going to make money if you do not join their mutual fund plan. They are salespeople. Why real estate? Because it's shelter. It's a basic human need. Everyone's going to need it. Why real estate? We have a growing population. Growing population means a growing demand. Why real estate? Because there are 80 million millennials, and millennials put off home buying, even though rent is expensive. Why? Because they've seen their parents go through the recession. They've seen how crazy and stressful it is to have debt. Last thing they want is a huge mortgage, lien on them. They'd rather be debt-free. They don't want to live in all that stress and fear of paying off debt. They'd rather have freedom. Why real estate? The record number of U.S. babies born in 2007 is the highest of all. So that means that 60% of the population is under 30. Why real estate? Because you have a growing demand and there's only a fixed amount of supply. This makes it a very dependable business. Why real estate? You will have much more control. You cannot control Wall Street, but you will have better control of your own real estate assets and business. Now, I told you I'd talk about why real estate is an ideal investment. Other than producing income for you, real estate can help you fight inflation. You see, while inflation goes up, the appreciation goes up. So it's the perfect deflector for going against inflation. Real estate is ideal because of the deductions. You have mortgage interest deductions, operation costs, and you have depreciation. Real estate is an awesome asset because you get to build equity. Equity is something that helps you build your net worth. It's something the banks look at when they are trying to figure out how much net worth you have and what kind of borrowing partner you have. Why real estate? Because there's appreciation. You probably all have relatives or friends who have bought a property and we bought it 20 or 30 years ago and now it's worth a ton. Why real estate? Because of leverage. More about this later. So, now that you've heard all the good things about the real estate asset vehicle, and you know the shocking truth about mutual funds, what asset vehicle would you rather go with? You want to still go the old way, or you'd rather take the real estate way? Earning passive income via real estate will get you to exit the rat race. Let me show you an example of what I mean on the return on investments. So say this house. We purchased it for $126,000. Just like buy any house, you put 20% down. 80% is borrowed from the bank. That is part of what leverage means. Over 3 years, the appreciation is 19%, and it's later valued at $150,000. The equity you own is $24,000. That means your return on investment is 95%. Wow. Let's dive into it deeper. So, 30-year loan, fully amortized, interest 5.7%, and then you've got your payments, your mortgage payments, principal paid over 3 years, and that amortization is 14.5% in just 3 years. That beats every single stock return I've heard of. I mean, I've heard of people hire fund managers, and it's usually like a 10%, 11% really good, a guru who watches all day. But here you got 14.5%. And then if you add depreciation into your equation and your cash flow from having a tenant in the unit, your net operating income is about $29,700, and you subtract your cash flow and the down payment and you calculate your returns. That's a 34.2% return. Astonishing, right? Again, I can't think of any stock that would beat that. So let's look at your annual return. You got appreciation, amortization, depreciation, cash flow. That comes out to be a total of 156.7%, an annualized 52.2% annual return. Why does real estate beat Wall Street every time? You see it. I did the little case study. If this sounds good to you, let's give the guy on the screen a high five. That's right, high five. Shift 4, the Millionaire Playbook Secret. So how do you get there? They use something called leverage. Now I know leverage to you probably means using the bank. You got 20% down, 80% borrowed, that's leverage, and you have a 5-to-1 ratio. That's a typical scenario. Yes, leverage is about borrowing the bank's money and utilizing it. It's about using other people's money. But it is also about understanding how to leverage other people's smarts, other people's time. Leverage can get you far. Now, I always had a question on how the wealthy people succeed in the highest level. When you talk to every wealthy person or every millionaire or any real estate guru who has made it real estate, all of them had mentors. And I wondered, what was the point of mentor? And then I realized it the hard way after spending countless hours of frustration, headaches, and losing a lot of time that I needed one, and it made it so much better. Without a mentor, real estate investing could become a full-time job. Without a mentor, it feels like an uphill battle. It's overwhelming. Every obstacle shifts you back. You feel like you're taking 1 step forward, but 2 steps back. Without a mentor, it can be a nightmare. It really is a full-time job, and it's easy to give up and quit when there are too many obstacles in the way. Let me give a simpler example. You remember the last time you committed to a workout routine? Then it got cold. Then you didn't have enough time to prep meals in advance. Then you were tired of washing dishes. It was too much work to figure out how to count the calories. It's really easy to quit when you don't have a system in place. Enthusiasm and willpower can only go so far, but with so many obstacles, you get beat down, you get tired, it hurts your spirit, and it's just easy to quit. Without a mentor, you learn through trial and error. You go slow. What a mentor means is that you can leverage other people's expertise and effort and get there easier and faster. Again, leverage what the wealthy people use. You will get a system that's proven, that's been trialed and done. It's plug into the proven system and you can get there faster. No more headaches and frustrations or losing money over bad decisions. The searching, analyzing, negotiating, closing, this can all be taught by a mentor to hold your hand through every step of the way. With a mentor, your real estate business will become a simple point A to point B in the simplest, surest way to help you achieve your goals. With a mentor, can help you do their transformation. Remember the conventional way of how we were planning to do our retirement? Work hard, get a high-paying, steady job, follow the financial advisor, cut expenses, live on a budget, invest in your 401k, then you save till retirement. As your mentor, I will teach you my system, the 10x Wealth Accelerator way, and I will show you how to invest in money-making assets, how to use leverage fully, and build your wealth growing assets and have the vehicles in place so it churns. Have your wealth vehicles work automatically so you don't even have to think about it. When you invest in a mentor, you leverage other people's expertise and efforts. It makes it so much easier. I've invested in a mentor every big decision of the way, and I am thankful for it. In my real estate education, I invested $50,000 in training and thousands of dollars in mentoring. It was the biggest decision for me. It was also the best decision. Think about people not aware of the alternate path of freedom. And then they take the long route to freedom. And then what do you think they would be willing to pay to go back 20 years and start over again? Had they known that there was a better way to do this, what do you think that 20 years of time is worth? Think about how much 20 years of time shaved off of your retirement building is worth to you. Think about all the investment mistakes people are scared about that cost them thousands of dollars down the road. Becoming a real estate owner sounds pretty stressful. However, with a system and mentor in place, it can be a part-time job, and later on you will work less and less. When you have a powerful mentoring system, you can reach your goals at 10x the speed. If that's important to you, invest in yourself. Your freedom is worth it. Learn how to manage your asset portfolio like the wealthy do. You are the CEO of your wealth. Use the 10x Wealth Accelerator system. Today I promise to show you the real reason why conventional retirement planning leaves people broken and destitute. Today I promise why saving your way to retirement is the long way. Today I promise show you how to put your money to work and build income so you can take your foot off the gas pedal one day and stop trading hours for dollars. Today I promise to show you how to make the shift from consumer to becoming the owner without a business degree and changing your career. Today I promise to show you how to retire comfortably without becoming broke at an old age. Today I showed you how to leverage and rocket fuel your business without taking on other full-time jobs or losing sleep. This is what you need to win. You need to focus on building streams of cash versus piles of cash. You want to go from consumer mode to boss mode. Become a boss. Use passive income vehicles to exit the rat race. You will need real estate asset vehicles because it's steady and it beats Wall Street every time. Take your money out of the mutual funds and invest it in real estate. What you need to win is to use leverage. It's the rocket fuel. And lastly, but also most important, invest in a mentor. Investing in a mentor helps you save a lot of time so you can work full-time on your active income and part-time on your passive income. You need to shift your mindset from making piles of cash to streams of cash. Now you know the importance of having wealth vehicles, the different asset vehicles. Now you know that real estate is an awesome asset vehicle and it beats Wall Street every time. Now you know the power of leverage. It's the rocket fuel that millionaires love using to take you there faster. And now you know the importance of investing and mentoring. So, now you have a choice. I've given you all this information. You can either take all this information and throw it out the door and keep pedaling through the rat race, living your life under a budget and limiting your choices and dreams and your life experience to save piles of cash, stick to the frugal school of thought, and follow a financial advisor. And you know, financial advisors, they're not really responsible whether you make it or not during retirement, right? If you give up and just throw all the information I gave you out the door, by the time you reach retirement, your most active years will be over. However, if you make the choice to change now, you can get started with real estate. You can get started in building your freedom retirement plan. You can get started in building your wealth vehicles, accelerate your retirement fund growth, and never be stressed out and feared about retirement planning again. You can live your ideal life and never let finances or money be a reason why you cannot do something. How I can help is my team and I have set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak with you personally about how you can apply this system to your financial freedom game plan today. How I can help. On this session, we will work with you to craft a step-by-step game plan to hit your financial freedom number goals, whether that's $4,000 a month, $7,000 a month, or $15,000 a month. I know you're wondering, how much is this strategy session going to cost? It is absolutely free. Book your call. What are you waiting for? First off, I want to let you know who this is for. This is for people who have demonstrated the ability to be decisive. You must be willing to build new wealthy habits, think, act, and manage your money like the wealthy do. You have to have an abundance mindset. No more limiting beliefs. You must declare your freedom and your future is worth it. If that's you, book your session today. simplefinancialfreedom.com/call. Why we're doing this. We do this because we love helping people live their full potential. When you live your full potential, you're happy, you're fulfilled, and it can only be reached when you have financial freedom. Plus, we know you might want our help to transfer your current financial situation. We can discuss and see if it is a good fit for both of us. If not, that's fine too. simplefinancialfreedom.com/call. When you go to this link, you will see a schedule, and you just select your time zone and select a time slot that is appropriate for you. Again, don't wait. You don't want to follow the old way. Cross over to the new side. You need to change your state of mind so you can change your story and change your life. When you make this grand change, you are creating abundance not just for yourself, it's also for your family, and you start the abundance mindset belief for the next generations to come. I know a lot of us have been instilled with a money limiting belief because that's how our grandparents, our parents were taught. Now you could be the one who changes all that, who changes all the generational wealth. Spaces are limited. Sign up now.